Hello, you snacks, welcome back. We're checking out some stories of stories. Apologies, my brain failed to think of anything else to say at that moment. We begin today's readings in r/no stupid questions, where one person's beginning query progresses into r/true off my chest, where their lived experience escalates into further discomfort. She asks, why do I attract older men that much? I'm 18, and for the past year I've noticed that more and more men, much or more older than me, are suddenly attracted to me. They either directly make a move on me, or they give me very insistent and even sometimes dirty looks, even when they are with their family. Why so? What is even more disturbing is that I know that I look younger than my age. So essentially it's just a short query into the disturbing standards many young women go through. What's interesting though is some of the answers to this, such as this gentleman here who is extremely blunt about his own perversion as an older man. But as we read it, you're actually kind of on his side and are very supportive of him. It's weird, but hear it out. He says, I'm old enough to be your grandfather. In fact, I am a grandfather many times over. But I still see women the same as I did in my youth. There is no magic age that makes you stop seeing and appreciating a beautiful woman, regardless of age, or if there is, I haven't hit it yet. Now, I just recognize, understand, and accept the impropriety and ick factor in being creepy towards women less than a third of my age. But it doesn't change the fact that I still recognize all the same things that made young women attractive to me at 20. I'm just mature, respectful, and socially conscious enough to behave as I should and act my age. Some people never get there. Well, as an example, my wife and I, at this moment, are waiting to hear the paternity results of a child being born to a 34-year-old woman babysitter suspected of being fathered by my just recently turned 14-year-old grandson. So it's not limited to just men. So would you look at that? But oh boy, how fun. Finding out your grandson is a victim of a predator. So OP posted that question a week ago, and there were some comments made that will later become references towards these latest posts. My best friend's dad wants to see me alone tonight, and I am genuinely scared of him. So you might think I am overreacting because after all, he's my friend's dad and he knows me since I was a child. He literally saw me grow up. But here's the thing, if you read my previous post on another sub, you'll see how uncomfortable older men make me feel, and unfortunately, this one is no exception. Recently, the looks he gave me have started to slowly change. I can see that he doesn't see me as an innocent child anymore. So yeah, I don't know what I should do. What if he just wants to prepare a surprise for her and he needs me for that? Since her birthday is in 1 month, what if he wants more? I haven't talked to her about the subject yet because I know she loves him and admires him a lot. Should I go? Top comment, don't go. With others leaving an even better idea here, text him saying, sorry, I can't make it. What did you want to discuss? And see what he says. Because here's the thing, if he's a creep, he won't tell you what he wants to discuss and will pester you to still meet with him. I mean, it's irrefutably creepy. Any guy in this modern day and age knows that if you are going to invite a young 18-year-old girl, it doesn't even matter that she's an adult now, the fact she's still clearly hella young compared to you, like alone at night to your residence of some kind. You best be having someone with you to be a witness to anything that happens, otherwise you are risking everything, and like career, social status, etc. There's just no sane guy who doesn't have ulterior motives is going to do this. At least not without some irrefutable evidence that they are not at all trying to be a creepy guy. So OP doesn't end up meeting with him, but does come back to Reddit just 2 days later to expand on this issue some more. My best friend's dad is more and more flirty and threatening with me, and it's destroying my relationship with my friend. I feel completely stuck. If you read my previous post about this topic, you know my friend's dad has been acting really weird with me for the past weeks. It's getting worse. After I refused to meet with him alone a few days ago, he apparently didn't get the message, and now he's being even more aggressive with me. The day after he wanted me to meet him, my friend invited me over for dinner, and I went because, despite all of this, I'm trying to preserve my relationship with her since we've been friends since kindergarten. But the looks he was giving me, even though his wife and kids were in the same room, I tried my best to never be alone with him the whole evening, but this psycho offered to drop me home, and of course I had no reason to refuse in front of everyone without them suspecting something, so I accepted. The atmosphere during the ride was so heavy. I was counting every second until I was home. He eventually broke the silence and asked me why I declined his invitation the other night. I was panicking, so I came up with a random lie, and I could see he didn't believe me. I swear he was driving so slowly and taking the longest routes I was so scared of what he could do. He finally dropped me home and I ran inside and locked myself. I haven't answered to my friend's texts since then. I'm terrified of going back there and seeing him again, but I don't want to lose her. I'm considering talking to my mom about it, but what if it's all in my head? Then you can relax and find peace, OP. But like, if it isn't in your head, then talking to your mom is the best thing you could do. Like, the worst case scenario in all of this is that you can relax. You know, like, oh no, how horrifying. But ultimately, this comment seems to be the best idea. So I just asked the best friend why her dad wants to meet up with you. Like, hey, your dad texted me the other day and wanted to meet up. Any idea why? Is there some surprise being planned? Because otherwise, I have zero reason to hang out with your old man. And include screenshots. Because it's her dad, her mom. She needs to take care of this. And once he knows you aren't keeping it quiet to cover his butt, he will stop. You are making it weirder by keeping it a secret. Now you accepted a ride from him and are leaving incidents that can be misconstrued. And that is a very good point. Not to try and victim blame the OP in this scenario exactly, but if she's afraid of, consequences, the more she keeps this going, the more people can twist this to be like, oh, well, she was wanting this to keep happening because she would have told someone already by now if she didn't. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Let me know yours down below and we'll move on to the next story. My family has been gaslighting me for years and now I have proof. Look, this may seem trivial to an outsider, but to me, it's not. I'm 22 female, and my grandma's current partner, Gary, has been with her since I was 15. We never clicked for some reason, which is weird because he did with everyone else. He adopted a father role to my mom, and they talk on the phone every day. My sister, who's 19, is close with him too, and I know they talk on the phone. He's always laughing with her and has so much personality, but I barely know him, and I don't even have his number. It's not for a lack of trying, he just always seems so disinterested in talking to me when he comes around, and usually doesn't even say hello until I say it first. When they used to come visit the house, if I was the only one home, he'd stay in the car. I have said for years, I don't think Gary likes me. All of them tell me I'm being crazy. He's such a great guy. Just get to know him. Like, it's been 7 years. I've tried. My issue was always that nobody seemed to believe me or even care. He's so blatantly cold to me and they tell me that I'm just misinterpreting it. This is an invasive issue because him and my grandma are around a lot, but I never had evidence of it, so I always just let it go. Well, my grandma had given my sister and I Christmas cards. My sister opened hers at my place and, I guess, left it. While cleaning my room recently, I was opening cards to see which to throw away and which to keep. I happened to open hers and noticed that it was signed Grandma and Papa G. I knew my card was just signed by Grandma, so I found the card and took a picture of them side by side. I showed my mom and sister and asked them if they finally believed me. But of course, they blew me off again. I won't pretend it doesn't hurt my feelings, but it's fine, because now I have my own proof. This guy doesn't like me for some odd freaking reason, and nobody will ever leave me because to them, he is family. All to say, look, listen to your gut, folks. Even your own family will try to make you feel crazy. So it sounds petty, but I totally understand how this could be itching away at you for 7 years. He's basically being a mean girl about it, Like, he's not directly being rude to OP, but he still is. This gets many to off the idea of maybe speaking to grandmother privately about this. After all, she clearly would have possibly noticed this in the Christmas cards since she wrote on them as well. To which the OP offers some more insight about her experience with grandma. She has mentioned it in passing, but Gran has always been like, oh hush, he loves you. Doubting that grandpa here has actually spoken about hating OP, but there's no way grandma wouldn't have noticed or be aware of it too. Saying, honestly, I'm happy that she's found love again, so I hesitate to start something with her over this. I guess I could bring it up, but I don't know what good it would do. She probably has decided to ignore it because she feels in the middle. It's whatever. My main issue was my mom and sister being so invalidating. So this brings others to point out that, oh good, well then you can just stop caring then. You've got the proof you needed. You can find peace in knowing you are right. If they want to stay delusional, let them stay delulu. He wants to not respect you, don't bother giving him the time of day either. And this is something that I'd like to ponder the question of. If you don't need to acknowledge him and force your hugs, etc., do you agree with some people also saying that you shouldn't focus your energy or care towards grandma either? Because she is condoning her partner treating one grandchild better than the other. Like that whole thing of making no stance or decision is making a decision. Like sure, they're still giving OP the time of the day, but if they're accepting and tolerating the grandpa's isolating behavior, they're pretty much just supporting it. OP, their family member, is hurt. They're feeling excluded, and they're just being like, Yeah, it's fine. I don't know, I feel kind of conflicted myself. And now for a story that began 3 months ago but recently updated today. I'm 50. My 48-year-old wife abandoned me 2 months ago to find herself. My wife Mary's family has a history of dementia, developing memory issues in their mid to late 50s. Her mom, grandmother, and several other relatives on her mom's side have developed dementia. Her mom lived with us for 4 years until earlier this year. Father is dead. Our kids are independent and out of the house. Oldest is in her last semester of college and the younger enlisted. The last 4 years were tough on us. Our kids, daughter moved for college but moved back for a bit during COVID, and our marriage. Living with someone with dementia is brutal. We had talked a lot the last year about taking the remaining college funds, our regular savings, sell or rent the house. We were ready to downsize anyway, quit our jobs and travel for a year or until the money runs out. We just had to wait for her mom to move into a home. I understand her anxiety about developing dementia, and I was burned out. You lived through COVID working remote, a wife working remote, a college and high school student taking remote classes, and a mother-in-law with dementia, and see how you hold up. Space finally opened up and we were able to move her mom into a care facility. I finally thought I had a chance to breathe. When we moved Mary's mom out, Mary's mental health took a huge downward spiral. I went from caring for her mom to caring for her. She felt guilty about putting her mom in a home and had lots of anxiety about developing dementia. Our plan was to start our traveling summer of 2024. 2 months ago, I got home and she's left a note. My friends call it Exhibit A. Basically, she was going on our trip without me. She had quit her job, took most of the savings, and wasn't sure when she'd be back. Maybe a year, maybe sooner. She knew I'd understand. Her location is turned off and my calls go directly to voicemail. I texted the kids a picture of the note. We have our own checking accounts for direct deposits of our paychecks, but we transfer most into a joint account to pay the household bills and savings. We both had access to main savings account. We have joint credit cards we use for household expenses, the 2 cars and mortgage are joint. We also have our own small savings account, our own retirement accounts, equally funded, and our own credit cards for gifts and fun things. I closed all joint cards and accounts. I waited a month to see if she'd come back, hopefully before she spent our savings. After receiving only 1 text the first month, I went to a lawyer. She basically said there was very little to do right now, other than change the beneficiaries of my retirement accounts and life insurance. Yay! My wife gets nothing else if I die alone while she's having our adventures. It was only a month and there was no way to serve her papers. My lawyer advised me to keep paying the mortgage and the cars. The cost of trying to get a judge to approve the sale of joint assets was more than making payments. I didn't want to ruin my credit by letting one of our cars get repossessed, but I can't sell it because she's on the title. Now I get random texts and she sporadically posts on Instagram. Of course, she has comments turned off. I want to block her so bad, but my lawyer advised me that it's better to maintain a communication channel that's not through our kids. Her last post was from Hawaii. She put in the comments how great a husband I was for letting her take this trip. I'm barely making it, paying 2 cars, a mortgage, household bills, insurance, hoping there are no emergencies because I have no savings, and she's enjoying our trip. Frick her. I'm so mad at her. I helped take care of her mom for 4 years, and her when she fell apart after her mom moved into a memory care home, and she returns the favor by abandoning me. I'll never get to take this trip and have to put off retirement. My only solace is the kids are mad at her too, but they'll probably forgive her eventually. Double frick her. And I'm no fool. She's hooking up with guys. She looks good. She'll have zero problem getting men. I texted her and asked if she was sleeping around. A week later, she responded that she wasn't sure. So I'm drinking alone on a Friday night, and she's somewhere, probably on a beach, enjoying life. Triple frick her. Now, they advised in another edit that the advice the lawyer gave them wasn't the only thing. There was a lot of advice given. There was just too much to possibly talk about and include in a single post. It's not that he can't do all these things, it's that doing all these things would require too much of his money that he's willing to spare right now. So all he can really do is wait it out, which understandably is probably the most frustrating thing to do in this moment. Just let your obviously soon-to-be ex-partner enjoy their trip. So I guess that just makes the homecoming she'll be coming to just that much more rewarding. Wait, is homecoming the right word in this instance? I don't know. I'm not American. I'm pretty sure that's like it's a term for prom or something. So, okay, a month later, there's an update. So I'm feeling much more positive now that the financial situation has become a little more manageable. Basically, I'm running up debt that will get paid off when I sell the house. Even with lawyer fees, I have 6 to 8 more months before I have to worry about money, assuming there are no emergencies. My friend's wife gave me some good advice. Don't go from being a hero to a villain in your kids' eyes. How I talk about and treat my wife will determine my future relationship with my kids. I don't give a damn about my wife, but I don't want to make her a sympathetic figure or drive them away from both of us. I followed up with the lawyer too. Basically, she said we're going to have her pay back the savings she took through a reduction in her share of the assets. Any division of assets will include the savings she took. She'll also have to repay the money I spent maintaining the household while she was gone. There is plenty of equity in her share of the house and her retirement plans to cover that. She said that our finances are so intertwined after nearly 25 years of marriage, my wife is going to get some share of the assets. Best case is she agrees to the terms of the divorce and it's relatively cheap and quick. Otherwise, it gets complicated and expensive. She gave me a lot of options and how much I can expect to spend, so I decided to just mostly wait. I got a couple of credit cards with promo rates for purchases and transfers. That gives me breathing room and I can conserve cash. I'll just pay them off when I sell the house. Now that my financial situation is less stressful, I'm actually enjoying her being gone. I'm free to do whatever I want whenever. I don't have to cook or clean or take care of anyone. The house is quiet for the first time I can remember. I loved my wife, but her mental health weighed down our marriage. On balance, it was worth it until now. The first month or so, I expected her to be there whenever I'd get home. When someone was at the door or if I heard noises, I'd think it was her. I'd checked the doorbell cam obsessively. But now I'm not looking forward to her returning. It has to happen, but when she comes back, I'll have to deal with her, the divorce, getting the house ready to sell, dividing all our stuff, finding a new place to live. I'm hoping she'll stay away until after New Year's, but my daughter said she thinks her mom will be home for Christmas, either to stay or visit. My lawyers will have papers ready to serve her. Hopefully, she'll just agree to the terms and continue her travels. Now, OP would further go on to list all the advice that some people have given just in regarding to legal issues and HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit for anyone curious, which is a thing got to do with a lot of words to do with things. Regarding using a phone bill to try and track where she's going, it seems she doesn't post on social media until she's already left a place, like she posted about being in Hawaii, but she made a call that day that was actually in Los Angeles. One time she posted about a cruise, and he tried to figure out the dates to hopefully serve her at the port, but it ended a couple of days before she posted. So yeah, no luck there for OP. So coming around to Christmas time, OP made a bunch of edits. 4th of December, nothing much has changed. Went to the in-laws with my daughter for Thanksgiving. It went well. Everyone was nice and tried to apologize for their sister or cousin or niece. I told them it's not their responsibility. I just appreciated them taking us in. It meant a lot to my daughter to be there. Now, 5 days before Christmas, I got a text from the wife that she'll be in town for Christmas. Lawyer said the papers are ready, so she could be served. It's like an early Christmas gift. I posted this to my profile in case my update gets deleted. So yeah, it was basically just before Christmas that we're all left wondering what had happened. What was the result? Well, just 7 hours ago, Daddy Dearest did deliver. So my wife texted me in the middle of December that she'd be home for Christmas. I told her that we, our daughter and I, would be at my brother's. She obviously wasn't welcome. I'd leave her car in the driveway and the fob in the backyard. She wasn't allowed in the house unless I was there. She didn't have keys to get in, so she spent Christmas with her sister. When we got back, I met with her. I decided not to be overly confrontational because I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of thinking I cared enough to be mad. She was taken aback about how detached I was. I could tell it bothered her that I didn't even show her much emotion, not even anger. I just wanted her to agree to a divorce. This is a summary of several different meetings, both with and without our daughter. She hasn't wanted to meet with her mom alone yet. Confrontation time. I asked her why she left without telling anyone. She said she didn't want to wait a year. She didn't want anyone talking her out of it. She didn't want to work anymore. She wanted to leave before her mental health got worse. I'm sure it mostly because she didn't want me to stop her from taking the money. She knew I would take care of everything with the kids in the house when she left. Now, we had decided to go summer of 2024 for a few reasons. Packing everything and getting the house ready to sell was going to be a lot of work. We wanted to make sure our daughter graduated college, got a job, and was settled. We wanted to make sure we had money when we got back. We wouldn't have a house, cars, or jobs, so we needed money because it could take months to find work and a place to live. We didn't want to have any worries or deal with a mess back home. But at some point in our planning, she began questioning, to herself, not me, if she ever wanted to go back to our old life. She didn't want to go work full-time or buy a house and stay in one place after we got back. She wasn't sure that she wanted, but she didn't think she would figure it out talking to me. I told her that's the reason we were taking the trip, to figure those things out together, to see what we wanted for the next part of our life. So I asked her why she didn't just get a divorce before she left. Then she wouldn't have to do this behind our backs, and she would have had plenty of money without stealing our joint savings. She claims that she didn't want a divorce, that she just wanted to live whatever life she figured out. I told her that's not how marriages work, one person deciding for the other. Then in talking and texting our daughter, her family, and my texts and voicemails, she realized I might not forgive her. She was right about that. So she might have to visualize the future without me. Now, this is where I had hoped she would say something stupid like, oh, she was going to squander all her money living in a van and make travel vlogs, or she met some guy that she needed to wire money to so they could open an ice cream shop in Alaska. Instead, she wants to be a digital nomad, working part-time, fully remote, and living in new places. She tried to convince me to go with her, but I'll never be able to trust her. Plus, I don't love her anymore. I mean, traveling like that for a few years doesn't sound bad, but she doesn't have a job or any work lined up. She's not in her 20s, and that way of living will get old quick. No close friends, no family. I want her to make it work so she won't be here trying to get back in our lives. So what? How are the kids doing? Well, our son wouldn't have seen us the entire time she was gone anyway. He only responds to her with very short texts. He told me she wanted to see him, but he said he was too busy and wouldn't be able to get away. He lives in the barracks, so it's an easy excuse to avoid her. My daughter, though, stopped talking and texting her. She's pretty upset. Her worry turned to anger when she realized her mom wasn't having a mental breakdown, but was just being selfish. If her mom was sticking around, they could probably work through it eventually. I just care that my daughter is happy, so whatever she decides, I'll support. Did she spend all the money? About half. I think she realized she needed to figure it all out before she completely ran out of money. 3. Did she sleep with anyone? I didn't ask because I didn't care. Asking would imply I wanted her back or it would matter. Even though I didn't ask, she claims she didn't. Not sure if she's lying or not. She might just be saying that because she doesn't want the kids to have another reason to be mad at her. 4. Does she feel bad for what she put us through? Well, she claims she does, and she wished she had handled it differently. She said getting away and figuring herself out was best for her. So I told her she was just being selfish. When she first left, we were worried something would happen to her and we would never see her again. She's always been self-centered. I told her she's taking the easy route and letting everyone else handle the difficult parts. If she gets sick, kids will take care of her. Goes broke, live with family. Abandon everyone? They'll forgive her. She thinks her siblings and our children will let her live with them like we let her mom live with us. I'm sure when she visualizes her future, she sees our kids there. They might not be, and definitely not in the same way they were before. So despite how it might sound, I'm actually really happy with how it all turned out. Our divorce is far from final, but we've agreed on the big things. We'll sell the house, how to split the retirement and profit from the house, how to pay back the money she took and what I spent maintaining the household. I got most of what I wanted from the settlement, and she'll soon be mostly out of my life. I won't have to pay alimony, and because she's choosing to make significantly less money than she was, I won't be forced to support her. That would have been a kick to the teeth. She isn't my responsibility anymore, and I won't have to care for her if she does get sick or goes broke. So I figured I'd start dating again. I didn't realize a 50-year-old man with children out of the house, a good job, and in decent shape would be a catch. I'm not fighting women off with a stick, but I've had a lot more interest than I expected. It's been kind of nice meeting new women. I've worked out the numbers, and I'll be doing pretty well after everything is settled, and I only have to support myself. Look, not where I wanted to be, 50, getting divorced, and using Reddit as free therapy sessions, but I'm happier now than I've been in a while. I'm even planning a little vacation of my own. So thank you to everyone that has responded and reached out. It meant a lot. So let's come and say, hooray! A final resolution to this whole drama. I mean, it's fun to get the drama, but also good to know there's a happy ending for it all. Props to the friend friend's wife there for suggesting the idea of not, go fully scorched earth on her. That the true opposite of love isn't hate, but indifference. Let's end it with something far less wholesome. I found something disgusting on someone I'm seeing search a history, and I don't know what to do about it. Please help. Okay, so this guy I was seeing, he logged me into his ChatGPT account so I could use it a while back. Somehow today, I open my computer and I see that on Google, there are searches that I do not recognize and have not made. So I go look at Google privacy and data history and notice that it is in fact his Google account and not mine. What I found was so horribly disgusting that after processing what I saw, I literally threw up. In his search history, I see searches and visits to AI poon generators where he searched and created some kind of adult content with these searches being little sister, not safe for work, etc. And I literally was in shock for an hour. I don't want to admit, but I even saw the AI-generated image of the comic he made. It was some weird older brother, younger sister fantasy. I'm so sick. I'm so horrified, shocked, and disgusted that I don't know what to do with myself right now. We have many mutual friends, and I don't know how to tell anyone what I saw was what I saw. I'm literally crying right now. I've seen his little sister in real life. She's around 18, and we're 21. So horrified and traumatized. I already did not trust men from previous bad experiences I've had with them involving SA, but I don't know how someone could be this disgusting. What do I do? Usually when I hear someone telling me they're literally throwing up and literally crying right now, I'm immediately as trusting of that as someone typing LOL and believing they are genuinely laughing out loud. But look, in this instance, when you're not overly exposed to this sort of stuff, I can understand your reaction. I mean, God, I remember when I was a little boy, seeing what a BJ was online for the first time and being absolutely disgusted that someone would put that in their mouth. But okay, you know what's more insane about all this? The impressive amount of people who are actually defending this guy's behavior. So this person shares an interesting article to summarize that, oh look, it's just curiosity that someone's acting out. They're not actually going to act out upon this stuff. Just because it's a fantasy doesn't mean it's actually going to be something they want to come true. And okay, yeah, you can be curious about something, but look, I don't know about you, but there's a very big difference between me curiously looking at something and then looking at something because I'm actually into it. Like clearly from OP's post, this isn't a one-time like search thing he's done. He's actually gone out of his way to use a generator to generate and like tweak and alter the image to get what he wants. That's beyond curiosity. That's a hobby. Also, get out of here with this, oh, poon isn't real life. AI poon isn't real life. None of that is inherently wrong. Buddy, I'm a video on the internet right now. I'm technically not real, but I guarantee my existence is influencing everyone who's watching it, be it making you think about an opinion I have or wanting to tell me I'm an idiot for an opinion I have. Either way, I am influencing others. Poon is influential. I mean, ask any girl's boyfriend, just guys in general, how disturbingly normalized it is to see this sort of content on the internet. Even some alleged women are actually defending this guy, though. Well, I read daddy smut. It turns me on, but I never in my life would I think of my own father that way, nor do I want to call a man daddy in real life. Some fantasy kinks are just that. Fantasy. Now, I read and get turned on by BDSM. I never want someone to spank or crop me. It's just different or taboo. I think you should take it with a grain of salt. And that brings up the other side of arguments. There's a lot of books that people read where they have characters being very dominating and almost borderline grapey. But if they had their actual partner say and do those things towards them, they'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Gross, no. But I'd also argue that this excuse here is also based on, well, like, yeah, you're into those things because you possibly have issues. Like, it's the same way people who are victims of SA usually enjoy adult content where people are getting SA'd. It's like they're trying to claim a power back. It's you're enjoying it out of a like state of survival to assure yourself that you are strong and safe and powerful because you can overcome the situation because you are now in control of it. Like, I'm sorry, this guy doesn't have any trauma. I doubt it. I doubt he has any trauma about his little sister being into him. He's not trying to reclaim his autonomy, Anyway, in a quick update to the same post, the OP does point out that she has broken up with him now. Not sure what to do with the sister yet. She has trauma herself and not really sure what to do. It's a bit of a roller coaster and just a long struggle to deal with it. The sister is genuinely an amazing girl and deserves the world, and OP doesn't know what to do. I can't tell if it's just an isolating thing this disgusting butthole does in his free time or if there's a possibility that anything has happened in real life. Either way, doesn't seem like we're going to get much more info there. So I leave that ending story with your opinion on it. At what point do you think fantasy is a bit too dangerously into reality? Let me know your thoughts down below, and in the meanwhile, we'll end things there. Thank you as always for watching. Love your face. Drink water, maybe holy water after reading that last story, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.